boxing truth here. Alright, let's talk about it. Post-fight thoughts, Canelo Kovalev. It was a very strategic fight by both fighters. Canelo has cemented his legacy as the best Mexican fighter of his era, the best fighter of this decade. He's the fighter of the decade. A great knockout win over Kovalev. And what was a disciplined performance from Kovalev, but it simply wasn't enough. At the time of the stoppage, I had Kovalev ahead. I thought he was slightly ahead in the fight, 6-4, maybe 7-3. At worst, even 5 rounds apiece heading into the 11th round. And Buddy McGirt got the best he could out of Kovalev. He wanted him to be disciplined. He wanted him to be a smart Kovalev to box. But the biggest mistake Kovalev made in this fight was not doing more damage to Canelo in the first half of the fight. That was really his best chance to win. He had to do damage in the first quarter of the fight, try to take the steam out of Canelo, try to hurt him. But Kovalev was being cautious, and he had to be cautious. I mean, there was a reason why he wasn't going all out in the majority of that fight. It was because of Canelo's sharp counters. Every time Kovalev threw a hard right hand, Canelo would try to counter the shit out of him with a big ass left hook, which is what Canelo saw in the fight with Kovalev. The flaw that he saw: every time Kovalev unloads, he's very susceptible to the left hook over the top. And just another great name and another great win for Canelo. I mean, he's the best fighter in the world. You got to give him his props. Yes, it wasn't the same Kovalev. He's not the fighter he once was. But he's still a tough out in the light heavyweight division. You don't see other middleweights jumping up to fight him, because he's not the crusher anymore, but he's still a tough out and very formidable. But he just doesn't have the tank that he once had. And once he gets tired, his punch resistance gets really bad. It doesn't matter where you hit him. It could be to the body or the head. It's just once that fatigue sets in, Kovalev gets really susceptible to get damaged. But he fought a good strategic fight. He gave Canelo a lot of problems. Canelo was having trouble getting past the jab. Couldn't really do much damage to the body, as everyone insisted in the fight, because Kovalev was very smart. He gave him what he could. He took what Kovalev gave him. And it's just Canelo's time. That's all it was. I mean, it's Canelo's time. He was the younger, fresher guy. He was the more physically imposing guy, even though he was moving up 2 weight divisions. But it was Kovalev that had to watch out for the counters. Kovalev's best chance was to try to hurt him early. That's what he needed to do, and he wasn't able to. He did what he usually does, come out to a fast start, was taming Canelo from the outside, but he wasn't able to do much damage with the right hand. And he didn't hurt Canelo until the 8th round of the fight. That's what a lot of people don't even realize. Canelo got hurt in the 8th round of this fight. You saw it when he backed up for the first time in the whole fight. He got caught with a sharp, I believe it was a counter jab. He got hit with a few good shots in that round. It was probably Kovalev's best round in terms of damage inflicted on Canelo, where Canelo felt the power and he had to back up and get his wits about him. He got buzzed with one of the shots that Kovalev hit him, but by that time it was too late. Kovalev was already fatigued, and when he had Canelo hurt in the 8th round, he just didn't have enough in the gas tank to really take advantage of it, to go all out and put a finish to it. He's just not the crusher anymore. just wasn't his time anymore. His time was 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, it was his time. Now it's Canelo's time. In another 4 or 5 years, it's going to be another fighter's time. That's what it's all about with this boxing game. Timing. Canelo took a risky fight, but it was a winnable fight against a great champion in Kovalev. And it was sad to see Kovalev get knocked out. You know, it was sad. He's been one of my favorite fighters this decade. It was a matchup between two of my favorite fighters fighting each other. That's why I couldn't give a prediction. You know, it was tough for me. I really like both guys. They're two of my favorite fighters of this decade, and they were fighting for that title, really. Had Kovalev won, he would have been regarded as the greatest fighter in Russian history. But now Canelo enhances his legacy, and he's pretty much solidified his place as among the all-time greats. He's going to be fighter of the decade by a landslide, and he's really the pound-pound #1 fighter in the world by a landslide. And he looked really good at light heavyweight, man. He looked strong. He looked fit. He looked fresh. I know a lot of people think Beterbiev will beat him, but to me, Kovalev was stylistically was the toughest matchup for Canelo because of his length, because of his boxing ability and his experience. And he overcame it, found a way. Now, Beterbiev is a little fresher than Kovalev. He's more durable right now than Kovalev. However, he doesn't have the physical dimensions that Kovalev had over Canelo. That's what really troubled Canelo in this fight. Beterbiev is not going to make Canelo look for him like Kovalev did. Beterbiev is going to come right at Canelo, and to me that style is tailor-made for Canelo. It still will be an interesting fight, but I would pick Canelo. I mean, I don't think a pressure fighter, come forward fighter. Don't get me wrong, Beterbiev has a good pedigree, but that's his style. He comes at you. I don't feel that style is this type of style to beat Canelo. To me, that's tailor-made for Canelo. I think Canelo is too experienced, too damn good, too sharp with the counter punching, too experienced for Beterbiev. But it'd be an interesting fight, and don't count out Canelo in that fight, and don't think he wouldn't take that fight, man. After this, who knows? He might move up to heavyweight. He might challenge a heavyweight. It's Canelo's time, man. He's the best fighter in the world. It was a great win. It was an unexpected knockout. I didn't see the knockout coming at that point. It looked like it was going to go a full 12, and Canelo would have gotten the decision anyways. So it was a good thing he did knock Kovalev out. Leave no controversy behind. I mean, a lot of people had Kovalev winning, and he was winning the fight up until that point. So it wouldn't have mattered had Kovalev was been able to go the full 12, go the distance. He still would have lost a close, tight decision, even though really he was ahead on this fight at least 6 rounds to 4 heading into the 11th round. He was only 2 rounds away. A diminished version of Sergey Kovalev was just 2 rounds away, in my opinion, from defeating the best fighter in the world pound for pound. Just came up short. Too bad for Sergey Kovalev. I think he should retire, but of course I think he will fight on. He's still a capable fighter, but just his conditioning and his punch resistance is no longer what it used to be, and he's no longer that seek and destroy guy anymore. So I'm not sure how a boxer, Sergey Kovalev, how far he's gonna go, if he can even win another world title. Of course he'll be counted out, but hey, we all know Kovalev is going to try and defy the odds once again. Congratulations to Canelo on a great victory. Of course, not everyone's going to give him the credit that he truly deserves. The best fighter of the decade, best fighter of his generation, the best fighter in the world pound for pound. Man, what a fighter. Canelo Alvarez. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.